Browns wrapping up minicamp here in Berea. Day 3, practice number 3, open to the media, and they ended it with a little bit of a scare, Mary Kay. Myles Garrett, pretty early on in practice, seemed to do something to his hamstring. Now, the rest of practice, he didn't participate in anything, but he appeared okay. Kevin Stefanski, very dad-like, after practice said he's fine. But again, just a tough way to start day 3 with a scare from Myles Garrett.
Yeah, you really don't want your NFL Defensive Player of the Year leaving the final day of Browns minicamp with a tweaked hamstring. But that's exactly what happened. Either that or Myles just was trying to get out of practice. Who knows for sure? We'll have to ask him that tomorrow when we see him at a youth camp. But anyways, Myles stood talking to Dee Haslam, Browns owner, and some other people after he tweaked the hamstring. He got a little golf cart ride off the field that he didn't really need, but he took that. So I think it's much ado about nothing. I don't think it's anything to worry about whatsoever. I think he will be front and center at the Greenbrier when training camp opens.
Yeah, Ash, I think this would maybe be a little bit of a bigger deal if there was like a game on Sunday, but we'll get to this. We're not going to see this football team again for another month plus, so really nothing to worry about, especially based on what we saw from Myles after it happened.
Yeah, and especially the angle Mary Kay and I kind of had, it looked like he talked to a trainer really quick. He didn't go inside. They didn't do any kind of treatment. I think if it was bad enough, he would have gone inside. They would have been working on him right there on the field. So I agree. I think it was kind of much ado about nothing, so to speak, and Myles Garrett's going to be fine, but I don't blame him. It was really hot out there today. It was in the mid-80s, so if that was the reason, I don't blame him at all.
I wish I could have gotten a golf cart ride from where I was in practice over to where we did the press conferences, but they don't give those to us, unfortunately. Now, this was not a scare. This was actually a good thing. Deshaun Watson had the best day that we've seen. Now, Kevin Stefanski, after practice, said, hey, we've seen days like this before, but we haven't. We saw a long throw to Elijah Moore. We saw a really nice throw to Jalen Darden. And overall, I know they struggled a little bit in the red zone period, Mary Kay, but just throwing the football, I thought this was the best Deshaun Watson has looked for us.
Well, he certainly threw the longest pass that any of us have seen, and that was more than 50 yards to Elijah Moore. In fact, there was so much heat on it that he overthrew it, and it was just out of reach of Elijah. It went off of his hand. But the one to Jalen, that was right on point, and that was another deep ball. He threw some outs very well. He had a lot of velocity on the ball today. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from OTAs and minicamp is that Deshaun Watson, their QB1, is throwing the ball very hard and very well.
Yeah, the thing we couldn't see, Ashley, was, or what we didn't want to see, I should say, is we don't want Deshaun to be throwing ducks. We don't want it to look like, where's the arm strength? And I don't think at any point in this camp we felt like that, and especially today.
I agree, and I've rewatched that throw to Jalen Darden in particular. I know we joke about using the term zip on the ball, but it was just a nice, really hard, on-target throw. I thought it was a really nice football play, and exactly like Mary Kay said, the Elijah Moore pass, even though it was an incompletion, I think I turned to Mary Kay immediately and said, well, at least it was an overthrow. Like, that was, I think, really promising to see, knowing everything he's been through so far and knowing that we haven't really gotten to see him air it out that much yet.
Okay, so let's stay on the receivers. We mentioned that throw to Elijah Moore. Amari Cooper, again, not here for day number 3 as expected. It did give some space, though, Mary Kay, for people to praise Cedric Tillman. So I guess just your thoughts on both of those topics.
Well, first of all, Amari not being here for the 3rd day of Browns minicamp, not surprising. We didn't expect to see him here. Hopefully those guys will get everything all squared away by the time they have to go to the Greenbrier for training camp. So that's what everybody is hoping and wishing happens. But in the meantime, Cedric Tillman, second-year receiver, had more than enough opportunities to go out there and show what he could do without Amari here. And he sort of came away all Berea. I mean, he was like camper of the offseason. And the Browns just can't say enough good things about Cedric Tillman and the jump up that he's taken from his rookie year.
Yeah, I mean, if Amari Cooper's not going to be here, if Jerry Jeudy's not going to be on the practice field, Ashley, these are opportunities for guys like for guys like David Bell. Cedric Tillman certainly seemed to take advantage.
I definitely thought we saw Ced step up this spring. I know we've talked about this before, but it just seems like he gets it more a little bit this year. I mean, I wrote a whole story on Ced last summer that kind of chronicled his high school career, his college career, and he's one of those guys that you look at his past and it's maybe taken a while for things to click for him, to find the position he's meant to play to get stats. But once it clicks, he's got it. So I'll be really excited to watch him in training camp and see if that actually is the case.
Now, the next time that you're going to see us do a video like this after a practice is about 6 weeks from now. It'll be in West Virginia. Mary Kay, this team kind of goes their separate ways. There's a dead period here. The coaches will stick around and work a little bit, obviously, and then they'll get some breaks in. The players, we know that Deshaun Watson maybe wants to get a passing camp together. Maybe the defensive guys get together. But right now the countdown is on. It's about 6 weeks until this team, and I hope I did the math right there, until this team reports to training camp and heads to the Greenbrier.
It is barreling down on us, isn't it? We always think, oh yeah, there's going to be this off season, and there really isn't much of an off season at all. So yeah, before you know it, we will be standing there at the Greenbrier Resort, ticking off who's there, who's not, who's injured, watching practices, watching them in pads, and really looking forward to the break, first of all, and then getting back at it.
Yeah, it's a nervous time a little bit in the NFL, but Ashley, it is a time for everybody to kind of refresh and get ready, because once you show up for training camp, you don't stop. This team is hoping they aren't going to be stopping until the middle of February.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long, long time. Won't be quite as long as last year. Last year we had an extra week since they were in the Hall of Fame game, but it is long. That trip to the Greenbrier I know is going to feel long, and I'm curious to see how they come out of it this year. But we know up and down, guys have praised the bonding they've gotten to do down there in West Virginia, so I know they're certainly hoping for more of that in about 6 weeks.
All right, well, we're going to cover all of that, but we've still got plenty of content coming your way between now and then. You can see full coverage of minicamp and everything between now and the Greenbrier at cleveland.com/Browns.